track 2, intralogistics. And as you probably know, intralogistic, that's all about managing the flow of goods and information within the four walls of a logistics facility. So this afternoon, from now until 4:30, with the break, we have 2 presentations and 2 panel sessions to enlighten us all about intralogistics. The first of those is a presentation with the title Sustainable Solutions for the Logistics Industry. To give that presentation, I'm very delighted to welcome Fendi Nurasalim, who is a General Manager at Sembcorp Solar Singapore. So Fendi, welcome to LogiSYM and for the first presentation. Thank you.
Very good afternoon to everyone. Am I able to take this up? Okay. Test, okay. Once again, a very good afternoon to everyone here. It's really my honor and privilege to be able to come to this event and share some thoughts on sustainability with all the logistics and supply chain management experts out here. Right? Once again, my name is Fendi Nurasalim. I'm actually currently the General Manager of Sembcorp Solar Singapore. Sembcorp Solar is the company within Sembcorp which consolidates all our solar PV projects in Singapore, from rooftops to ground-mount systems that we have at Tuas to the floating system that lately you might have heard from the news, right? So without further ado, I'll just start my presentation. Alright, Sembcorp Industries at a glance. For those of us who are not so familiar with Sembcorp, let me just give you a very brief introduction. So we are a public listed company with 49.5% owned by Temasek Holdings, and the remaining 50.5% is actually owned by public. Alright, our key business pillars are really in energy and urban business. Okay, that's why we organize ourselves into Sembcorp Energy and Sembcorp Urban. In the energy sector, we do conventional as well as renewable energy. And then in the urban sector, we develop industrial parks. Okay, so what we do is that we get parcels of land from the government in Southeast Asia, in China, in India, right? And then we receive that parcel of land, we develop it into integrated townships where we provide the essential infrastructure such as water treatment, wastewater treatment, waste to energy facilities, and even energy generating power plants, right? So that's what we do. And our key markets are as shown here in this slide. We are a Singapore-based company. So Singapore and Southeast Asia remain our key market, and really the market that we want to grow in a big way. China, India, and the UK. So these are the 4 key markets of Sembcorp. Multi-decade, okay, so what I'm presenting next is really the opportunities that are really, we find ourselves in, right? We call it a multi-decade in sustainability, right? The opportunities are really out there. We have heard from governments across Asia, from India, China, Vietnam, and even Indonesia, in Singapore itself, right? We have heard about the Singapore Green Plan, which is really to grow the renewable energy capacity in Singapore to 1.5 gigawatt peak by 2025 and 2 gigawatt peak by 2030. It's a very ambitious target for a very space-constrained Singapore, right? And we want to have a big part in this, right? And on the right-hand side of the slide, you find that urbanization is another mega trend that is really coming in a big way. More and more people are staying in urban areas, right? From an average of 50%, right, globally, people living in urban areas in 2018, and by 2050, this number is going to go up to 66% of the world population living in urban areas. These are the mega trends that you will find: carbonization, urbanization, and electrification, right? And Sembcorp find ourselves that we are very well positioned to capture all these opportunities, right, with these megatrends, with these backgrounds, right? We have our presence in Southeast Asia, we have our presence in China, in India, as well as in the UK, right? And with the increasing trend of people looking for sustainable energy solutions, there is an increasing, there's a large addressable market size of up to 600 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity opportunities between 2020 to 2025. Now, maybe I'll zoom in a little bit more about solar, right? Solar as a sustainable business solutions and how we hope to collaborate with our logistics and supply chain management customers, right, to provide you with this sustainable solution and bring you to embark on your sustainable energy journey. Again, we are present in these key markets and we cover rooftop, ground mount system, as well as the floating solar plant, right? This is just an example. This is a rooftop in one of our customers. We do commercial and industrial customers, and we do like to work with logistic partners. I have a slide later on to show about some of our logistic customers that we have worked with. Floating solar, which is at Tengah, is actually the same place where PUB supply potable water, right? And by using or installing solar there, we are actually using, or there's two or dual use of space, right? One is to supply the raw water to be made into potable water, and another one is actually the reservoir itself becomes an energy generating source, right? And then the utility scale, we have a ground mount system installed at Tuas, okay, just next to Novartis, in case you have passed that area, where we work with landlords like JTC because they have space or land spaces which are currently not in use, which are currently vacant. So we install the solar system on this vacant land, and it's intended to be a mobile system. So in the event JTC has an investor or someone who wants to come in and install their facility or their factory there, we will be able to relocate to another piece of land given by JTC, right? So that mobility concept is also there. So if you need a mobile solution, do come and speak with us, and we'll give you a solution for that as well. Okay, and this is just a snapshot, right? At the moment, with about 400 megawatt peak of contracted capacity, Sembcorp actually contributes to nearly 30% of Singapore's 2025 renewable energy target. All right, and we find ourselves in a very short time span, about 5 years, right, growing very fast from about 10 megawatt peak when we started back in 2017 to today. I'm happy to share we have more than 400 megawatt peak of solar system in Singapore. Around 280 megawatt peak of which has been completed, commissioned, and is operational as we speak today. And we cover a wide range of customers, right, from the government agencies. If you have heard projects like Solar Nova, right, rolled out by HDB, and then there's Solar Land and Solar Roof by JTC, as well as the PUB floating solar plant. So we work with the government agencies to provide our solutions. We work with the industries and commercial sectors, right? Aviation, semicon, logistics, manufacturing, all kinds of industries. We have increasing customer base, and we know what our customers need and what are the things that we have to pay attention for every sector that we work with, right? To the banking and tech firms, right? A lot of these people, they do not have rooftops because of the limited space that they have, but they still want to go green, and we can still help them. We can still work with them through virtual PPAs by providing them with green energy that we export through the grid, right, from other sources within the same grid. Just wanted to share some of the key partners from the logistics and supply chain management that we have worked with in the past, right? YCH, or Supply Chain City at Bulim, we have installed a 2.8 megawatt peak system there. Cash Logistics Trust, we actually work with them to install on their 3 facilities, right? Quite a large project, totaling about 8 megawatt peak. Agility, Kim Sun Lee, Agility, DHL, and Nagai. These are some of the logistics names that you may be familiar with. They have joined as our customer, right, to go on their sustainability journey. All right. Some of the key success factors that I just want to highlight here is really we understand on the stringent safety and quality requirement of the logistics sector. We are familiar with your requirements, okay, and your operating patterns. What kind of energy you are using and your night and day variation, and we provide all the expertise that we can, right, to maximize your energy savings. All right. We customize our business model to suit your operational needs. At the moment, we actually have about 25 megawatt peak of our total portfolio and spread across 19 sites. They are in logistics sector. Okay. Some of the notable projects that I would like to share in this opportunity. One is the Tengah Floating Solar Farm. It was won from PUB's open tender, okay, through optimization in engineering and design. That's really the key emphasis, right? Because we built something as a developer, we will have the system for 20, 25 years, a long-term PPA. Our revenue is really earned through the energy tariff that we sell to the customer. So we are not a contractor that build a system and then hand over to the customer. Whereas we are actually a developer that will finance the project, install the system, operate, maintain for the long haul, and the customer does not need to put in any capex, any opex. You only pay for the energy that you actually consume, and that will be at a discount compared to what you will have to pay if you take energy from the grid. Yeah, so that's the business model of our solar leasing. And we continue to look at opportunities to optimize, right, through our O&M pattern, through digitalization, to optimize how we can really maximize the energy generation and provide the value to our customers. Another system, which is the solar lamp, I just want to share that this is also interesting because not only using it to collect the sun energy on sunny days, this system that you find at Tuas is also able to harvest rainwater. So the solar system is integrated with a rainwater harvesting system that collect the sun during the sunny days and collect the rainwater on rainy days. So when the rainwater is collected, it is stored in an underground tank that can store about 1,000 meter cube of water, and then we treat it, right? We treat the system to a quality that is comparable to new water for non-potable users. So we can do that. I mean, we can use this water for our own purposes, for example, for cleaning of the solar system or cooling of the solar system, or even, right, when PUB allows, to actually sell it to our neighboring companies who need the water for non-potable users. Okay? So likewise, we have to pack the land that we see here. So if some of you have passed through that area, you'll find that it's really packed with solar system to really maximize the use of the land for this purpose. One is to collect the sun energy and then to collect the rainwater on rainy days. Yeah. The Sembcorp Tuas Solar Farm was opened by Minister of State Low Yan Ling about 2 weeks ago. Okay. All right. Yeah. This is another case study. I'll just talk through as the video plays with soft music at the background. Okay. So we worked with DHL last year. We signed a long-term power purchase agreement, right, to install solar PV on their rooftops in their facility at Parks Avenue. Okay. So we do all the necessary things, right, in terms of safety to ensure the integrity of the system, right. The project was completed with 0 safety man-hours lost. We inspect all the equipment, 100% check on all the connections. All right. We installed 1,300 panels. Each of them is 540 watts and 10 inverters, as integrated with our monitoring system at our office. The tilt of the system is also designed to capture the most energy while meeting the requirements of CAAS, or Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore. They can be very careful, especially if your facilities are located at the flight zone, like near Changi area, or Tuas Air Base, or Seletar areas. Then we have to go through these approvals from CAS to ensure that our solar system will not cause any glare to the pilots, right? So we are very familiar with all these requirements, and we can ensure that the system that we install will meet the relevant authority requirements. So through this collaboration, DHL is happy that they have a partner to also help them to meet the sustainable goals, right? Sustainability goals, and provide them with a long-term energy hedge, right? We offer them a fixed price over a long term that can also serve as a natural hedge against the fluctuating energy prices that you see currently. Sorry. Solar monitoring dashboard. This is another key system that we always want to assure our customers that when we install a system on the roof of your facility, we will put in all the necessary monitoring system to ensure that the system is performing well. Okay? Because if you work with a developer that does not take care of the system well, then you will lose out, right? Because the forecasted savings that you are supposed to enjoy will not be met. So what we do is that we provide guarantee to our customers, right? From year 1 through year 20 or year 25, the amount of energy that you should be getting, the minimum, the guaranteed energy that you will get, right? That will then translate into savings in terms of your energy costs. So we put it in, we word it in the contract. If we fall below that, we will actually provide a liquidated damage as a form of reassurance to our customers that we will meet this and you'll enjoy the savings. All right. So one key aspect of that is really to have a robust solar monitoring system, right? That can capture the real-time basis on the energy generation, and then to have a quick response time in the event of any faults that happen in the system, right? With the increasing number of customers that we have, and they are all distributed all over Singapore, we can't possibly position engineer on every site. So this becomes a very critical digital tool for us to monitor the performance of our solar system that are spread all over Singapore. Okay? And this also provides a reporting tool, right? Because through this system, you'll be able to see how much of energy has been generated during a certain period of time, and what are the environmental benefits that you get from the system. And all these become a very handy reporting tool for your sustainability report. Okay. On the education front, we also work with institutes of higher learnings, or IHLs, such as ITE, Singapore Poly, right? We work with them to provide the workforce of the future. They are ready to enter into the workforce and into the solar sector. In ITE, we actually set up a Center for Sustainable Solutions, which is at ITE College East. And this becomes a center where the students can learn, right, on how a solar system works, what are the components of a solar system, and how to do this, the installation, the operations and maintenance of a solar system correctly. With Singapore Poly, we collaborate with them to prototype a solar panel recycling system. Yes, you find that nowadays there are so many industries that are installing solar panels. What we need to also start thinking of is that 20 or 20 years down the road, right, when these solar panels have reached their end of life, what will happen to them? So this is where we want to start ahead on thinking about this, collaborating with the IHL to prototype a solution, how we can actually break down the solar panels into the individual components, right? The silver, the aluminum frame, the silicon, and actually recycle these as a commodity. We work with the IHL to also train, through internships, to training the IT students, as well as have a cross-learning with the lecturers, right? From our staff to go to the institutes, as well as from the institute, they come to give Solar 101 to our new engineers. Yeah. Okay, to end with, these are some of the testimonies of our customers. Dinata, right? And they're happy that we happen to achieve their sustainability goals. Nito, for example, how we can actually provide them with the cost saving that they wanted. Or even Facebook, right? Through the sales of renewable energy certificates. Okay, they have a certain target. Facebook is one of those companies that have joined the RE100 or Renewable Energy 100, which means that they aim or they have a goal to achieve 100% of their energy consumption coming from renewable energy by a certain year, right? So they are aggressively looking around for renewable energy from and around the region, right, to help them to achieve their goals when they embark on this RE100. And we are happy to share that we are one of the partners, okay, to provide them with such a solutions. Right, so sustainability is our business. That's really our tagline, right? Going forward, we have transformed ourselves, right, from just a brown energy provider to become a green energy provider. We're transforming ourselves and our assets and portfolio from brown to green, right? And our key message to our customers is that if you have any questions, if you have any needs in the area of sustainability, you are not sure where to start, do not hesitate to kind of talk to us, and we'll be happy to explore with you what are the potential solutions that we can do together. With that, I will conclude my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
So do we have some questions for Fendi? I know we have some sustainability. Oh, please go ahead. Do you have any more mics?
Interesting. It has been very interesting sharing. Let me introduce myself. My name is Timothy from ExxonMobil. So you mentioned you work with JGC for them. So to understand whether you have any opportunity or solution for Jurong Island manufacturers. There's a lot of stationary equipment there. Have you ever done any study on that opportunity front?
Yeah, correct. Thanks for the question, Tim. Happy to share as well that we started in Jurong Island, right? So this whole sustainability idea started way back when we started our Jurong Island business, where a lot of companies like ExxonMobil, Evonik, and a lot of other, petrochemical players come and set up their operations, and Sembcorp provide them with the multi-utilities in a centralized manner. So instead of you building your own boilers, instead of you building your own steaming water plant, cooling water plant, let me build that for you and we supply that to you. So this is our business model in JI. We are very familiar with the companies there. And now we are looking at, and we are talking with some of the companies in JI to see how we can potentially use some of the vacant land that you have. For example, a lot of these companies in JI, they actually get a bigger piece of plot and then reserve some plot for their expansion plan in the future, right? Which, depending on the economic climate and all that, may come earlier or later, right? So given this vacancy of land that we have in JI, we can actually work with you to provide a mobile solution, right? We can install it there for you, because solar energy system typically comes with a long-term power contract, right, or power purchase agreement. So that actually deters some companies because they are not sure if they can commit such a long-term contract. But no worries, we can now provide you with a more flexible contract where it is shorter, or as and when your expansion plan comes to materialize, we can discuss how we can actually relocate the system and make the land available for you for your expansion plan. So yes, we are in discussion, and I believe we also talk to ExxonMobil on some of these opportunities. Thanks for the question.
Okay, thank you. We did start 7 minutes late, so I didn't want to give you the full 30 minutes. We have another question over here.
Thank you for the presentation. So my name is Sami, I'm working for Decathlon. And I really like the fact that you have talked about the end of life of the product, because even though sustainability is part of the journey of many companies, it is becoming very hard internally when you are part of the procurement team, not to avoid the fact that people internally are going to ask and challenge about, okay, so you're going to, in brackets, put some sustainable way of doing some energy, but what about the raw material? Where are they coming from? Who are the vendors that are giving those products, and the end of life? Because we cannot just close our eyes and not look at the aspect of this. So I'm glad that you have been talking about that. I was waiting till the end. I saw it on the last slide, so this is good. I would like to know if there is also a strategy from your side on who are the vendors. Are you really doing your selection on some particular vendors that are compliant with the way they produce, with the way they are extracting the raw materials, the rare metals that needs to be used for this kind of energy? Because I think we have to look at that completely cycle, and not only about the energy that is coming from those new strategies.
Okay, thanks again for the question. So we have already touched on the end of life and how we are trying to address that in time to come. On the sourcing side, right, we do work with a few tier 1 solar panel manufacturers. Okay, many of them are based in China, right? And we do work with them. We have SMCorp, and we are also a listed company, so we are very careful about that, right? We also have a supplier code of conduct, right, to ensure that our suppliers follow certain code of conduct, right, in terms of how they produce the panels right from the cell, right, and what we do in the production process. And we do conduct audits, so we go for factory audits quite regularly pre-COVID, and now we started again, right, recently. All these are in place, but having said all that, I'm not going to be naive and say that I know everything where my supplier gets every single thing, right? So there is a limit to the extent that this can be done, but to the extent that we can do, right, without getting very much involved in the geopolitical thing, we do want to be a responsible corporate that ensure that our suppliers also follow supplier conduct. Yeah. So we can have a outside discussion after this if you want to know more detail, but that will be my reply to you.
We are online as well as physical today, and we have had some questions coming in online for you, Fendi. This one is from LH Chong, who's Supply Chains Operations Director at Bose. His question is, I'll try and read this out. You must have seen the above water floating panels. These allow sun to get into the water, and algae and microorganisms all still flourish. What are the plans to have these in Singapore?
Okay, so I didn't get the question. So you mentioned that we do our floating system design also allows sun to go into the water?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So before, maybe it's good to share as well for those of you who may be thinking about would there be any environmental impact, right, with regards to installing solar panels on the water surface, right? So rest assured, before we even embark on this project, PUB, as the project owner, right, they are the one that roll out the tender. They have done very extensive study, right? One part of it is the EIA, or the Environmental Impact Assessment, right? And they have done it over not 1 or 2 years, but 5 years, right? One was, they set up a test bed, a small scale system, 1 megawatt peak only, okay? Coming from 10 different suppliers, right? And then that was actually installed in 2016. 2016, right? And then they basically study, right, both the impact on the biodiversity, means the flora, the fauna of the reservoir, as well as the water quality, right? After getting assurance that there is no adverse impact, then they roll out the large-scale floating solar farm, which we want, right? So yes, when we put panels on the water surface, of course, it will stop some sunlight from coming into the water, right? So, but we do that in a measured way. And our design is such that there are 10 separate islands instead of one massive island that covers the entire surface, right? So there are actually gaps, substantial gaps where water can still receive the sunlight, okay? And there will be enough ventilation as well. So air exchange is another important parameter because you want to maintain the dissolved oxygen level inside the water body. Okay, so all these are actually taken into account, and we are still doing the environmental mitigation and monitoring plan, Okay, pre-construction, during construction, and even after construction for a period of 3 years, we have to engage an external party to actually monitor, right, the environmental impact. So these two, yeah, the water quality as well as the biodiversity impact. And so far, it's been good, right? There is no red flags. The otters that we used to find there, they used to have 8 of them. Now we have 11 of them, and we see them roaming around. So the biodiversity and all that, they are actually doing well.
Oh, that's good to know you're taking care of that side of things as well. Do we have any final questions for Fendi? Okay, if not, let's put our hands together and show our appreciation for. Thank you.